Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Harakah Kadash, double to the apostles and elders, great millstone at real well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of sincerity and truth. Just wanted to go through the parable of the sower, because yes, it's key really for conduct and to kind of break down, the different kind of men you're gonna kind of see, and how they interface or interact with this truth. Because it's basically, that good the gospel, that good news. It's been preached, but then it's how profitable it is onto different men. It varies by what's been portioned to them. Because well, I'll start off. Matthew 13:1. It says that same day, when Yahweh shot out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow, and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But other fell into good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Because as far as even, just like with the scriptures in general, it's parables and dark sayings. These are things that are not easily understood, and you need the spirit of Yahweh Shai supping with you, essentially, of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai supping you to receive it. Because as far as going through carnal means, you're not, it's not gonna be possible to just, be like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna decide to make this what work, this because as far as for this, as it said, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. It said, what, verse 10, and the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them is not given. And that's the thing, is with this is being broken down, Yahweh Shai goes into and breaks it down. Yahweh Shai goes into it and breaks it down. Afterwards. So a Christian can even come into it and get it, but they're still not going to have the fullness of it, because they don't really understand the word. They don't really know who this is for. Well, they're gonna think the fact that you're Israelite holds isn't a matter, and then you even have those that might know they're Israelites, but then they're not gonna be able to break down prophecies. You try and ask them, what's the MOTB? You want to get educated. You want to learn. What's the MOTB? Essentially, what's going to happen in the end time of the key prophecies. Then these guys don't have the answer, or they're going to give you a completely wrong answer. They're going to tell you something other than a micro C-hip, which is what the MOTB is. So this is what but to them is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not and hear not, Oh no, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see and not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Yeah, that's quoting Isaiah. Because as it says, it's, they're literally made deaf and blind to receiving it. And that's, same from back then to now, well, I say now as far as 2,000 years ago, and then now in the modern day as well. That's why you'll have things where it's like, okay, you go into the Greek, you go into the scriptures and you break down MOTB. Then, people go, oh, for what, or they'll try and, bring in exception from judgment. But then, no, it's a physical mark, it's not. So it can't be sin, it can't be, cause why? And then the having sex with white women, man. There's all these, all these different explanations and whatnot. But then you get to the core of it. Yeah, with that eye is, and she comes back. And then what? And it's something where there's just a block. Because it's not, it's not that complex. Because there's what, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Yeah. These, even understanding on those things. And there's even things now. Because being able to understand and know what the what do you call that? How to understand the end, what's going down now. The missiles, these different things in current time. It's even that's that's something mystical, man. Which for most people they're mystified, man. It's too much. They're not able to get it. Because what does it say? Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. That is he which received seed by the wayside. And yeah, so they basically, they received the word, they heard it, they would have seen the videos, they might have stumbled upon the camp. They basically heard it, and then before even had time to plant roots, that got snatched away from it. It was like, nah, it's not for you. And that's that's cold. Because Ecclesiasticus 2:1, it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Yeah, so for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So yeah, that's essentially what you're inviting yourself into. As soon as you come into the truth, as soon as you hear the word, you're invited into the furnace of adversity. There's, if you tell people like, oh, you're dealing with your Hebrew Israelite, okay, actually, Yahweh Shai, or who the world calls Jesus Christ, was a so-called black man. Esau, Edom, or the so-called white man, known as he's known today as a devil. These things are gonna get you. People are gonna be looking at you funky. They ain't gonna want you in and around them. And that's really how it functions with this thing. This thing basically, puts essentially, you put a spotlight on yourself. You separate yourself from everyone else that's basically just molded into the world. And that's something that can just swiftly be like, nah, that they ain't running. Like immediately, just becomes a bit dodge for how people deal with you. But again, that's part of the furnace of adversity, and it's the nature of this world anyway. This world is under Esau's vibration. So things that people, you talk about, especially that alphabet, LGBT and whatnot. You talk about that, and what the scriptures say about it, then people, well, those things you get booted, drop kicked off YouTube. You can get over here in the UK. You can get arrested. You can get thrown in jail for that as well. Like it's not even. It's not even something light. I mean, they actually in what's it called? Scotland. Scotland, they changed the law recently to make it more what do you call it? Yeah, I think you can get up to 10 years in jail for those things, just for if someone takes offense to what you're saying. So that's like, and that's the thing is the prophets, that's been what they've been doing, causing offenses, has been a given. So it's like, yeah, it shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a shock. It shouldn't be a shock to kind of have that response. But then again, it's like they're he that receiveth the seed in stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth. Yet hath he not rooted himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. Yeah, so that persecution come, thing is the furnace of adversity. That's the furnace of adversity coming through, and then people are feeling and getting burnt, they're getting sweated out. It's too intense. Heaven spake unto me again and said, go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. That's how the truth is. It's in the mouth it's sweet as honey. It goes down. It's hella sweet. You find out, oh, you're Israelite. Oh, you got this promise for you. Oh, okay. But then what in the belly it gets bitter. Because why? Because it's the furnace of adversity. That's when the trials begin. You just come in fresh. You're thinking like, yo, it's all upsides. But then you realize, okay, you start getting issues with the family. You start getting issues with the workplace. That's during the what do you call it, the C19, the jump shot era. There was, if you weren't messing with that, they'll man where they'll have to be willing to lose their job over those things. Which there were men that did, and there were men that folded. And that thing is as well, is like there's people where they like after they killed that off. There were people who were getting what's the term? They were suing companies for enforcing that on them and getting big bucks. Like it was flip turned completely. Those who held the ground, and it's like it's like most people. It's kind of like, oh, they were like, yo, they were regretted going through it, because why? They were just like, yo, it wasn't even necessary. And that's the thing is that's like a trial run for the MOTB. So it kind of shows it's reflective of the mindset. But then that's why I read it. It says set thy heart aright, and You basically got to prepare for that temptation, man. Because you're going to have the hour of temptation where it's going to be intense. So and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. Yeah. So it gets bitter on the way down. And that's, that ain't changed. But verse Matthew 13:22, and it says, He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. Yeah. There are those where it's like, they've endured for a while, but then they might be drawn in. It might be the family that draws them in. It might be a woman. It might be money. It might be a job. It might be some activity that they partook in that they didn't want to let go of. There's various, the world is like I said, broad is the way that leads to destruction. There's all kinds of ways that you can get drawn in. It might have been, having to get persecution that comes, by the by. They might have endured for a bit, but then after a while, be like, no, this is too much. I just want to live my life. What little life? You can't even get a life in this kingdom, but these are the things that people are drawn into, and why they'll lose themselves in these things, man. I read this, Jude 1:8. It says, Likewise also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities. Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, The Lord rebuke thee. But these speak evil of those things which they know not, but what they know naturally is brute beasts, and those things they corrupt themselves. And yeah, for them it's realized even Michael contending with Satan, it was just as simple as saying, yo, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, the Lord rebuke thee, and then that's it. He was he took the L. Because why? That's as far as for this faith, it's very simple, it's very straightforward. You put your trust and faith in the Lord, and then prove that with works as well. Then the Lord will have your back. What does it say? The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. But then what it said that these are brute beasts. It says, what? Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Korah. Yeah, all those that came against the spirit and then got decimated. And then what? Going in the way of Cain, man. Esau before he was Esau. And what did he do, man? He was spiteful, because what was it? Abel came with a righteous sacrifice. Then this guy's coming through with scraps of scraps of spinach, 2 pieces of parsley, and then he's thinking, that's a worthy sacrifice. But then he was upset. But that's the might, like essentially the faults in themselves. But then what they're trying to put that on Yahweh Shem Yahshai, or they're trying to put on someone else. It says, what? These are spots in your feast of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds they are without water, carried about of winds, trees whose fruit withereth without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the roots. Yeah. Because as far as for these guys, they're essentially, put a mark on themselves, man. And it's plain. You can tell from a distance, like, okay, yeah, nah. There's something funky going on there. And what does it say? Matthew 13 and 22, it says, he also that received the seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh untruthful. And yeah, there'll be those where it's like they might, be offered certain things in the world, and then they'll compromise themselves in the word. They'll get, they might get a certain job promotion. They might, the woman might be like, okay, no, you know what? They might have been pursuing a woman they get, and it's just like that becomes their world. But then it's like, okay, you're wagwan for Yahushai, like wagwan for what you've been put here to do. But then for them, it's they'll put here to abide for a time, and then you get choked out. And what does it say 23? But he that receiveth seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, and also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. So yeah, it's not that everyone's been given the same, same lot. Some are given a greater lot, which 100-fold, 60-fold, 30-fold, 10-fold, and it's like it's the same with when what do you call it? When Moses was setting the men up, there'll be captains of tens, hundreds, 500s. The different ranks, and that's how it is with what do you call it? With his word. Essentially, you're gonna fulfill up to your measure, and that again is why someone can't just come through and then if they're trying to take the top spot, and that's really what a lot of people are trying to do. Nate is key for that, man. The guy's really trying to take the top spot. Man's trying to outdo Yahushua even. Like he's completely out of his mind. Because you're appointed at a spot, a certain level you're meant to be at. But then that's why he's basically off doing his own thing. Because there he can be a top dog. And that's what a lot of guys do. They'll see the truth and they'll think, okay, let me come in and they're preying on the top spot. But it's things spiritual. You basically got to deal with what's at your level, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yabashim Shabbat Shalom.